Hi, everybody. Wanted to wish you all first a happy pre-spring break as we get to take some time away from school and to have a little bit of downtime to reflect on things other than schoolwork. Um, but as for this discussion, it's our discussion five, of course, and we want to talk about, or I want to talk about theories and techniques as it relates to counseling. Um, I personally like what I saw in Carl Rogers, and I used that in my theoretical orientation last semester. Um, but I want to talk a little bit more about it here as it relates to this assignment for this discussion. Um, Person-centered approach to me, I can relate to that. It kind of grasps at my personality, kind of grasps at what I can see myself presenting to a client as I'm face to face with a client and trying to help him or her decide what their next move should be as far as getting out of a situation. And again, I like what was presented here. It's humanistic, it's action based, which in my opinion means that whatever a client gives, they're going to get something back. And it's our role or my role to present to that client something that's positive while I show empathy in being positive and helping them to reach a different plateau, if you will, of getting something back, getting a result back other than where they started. So I like what it presents. Carl Rogers figured it was more of a strategy than a theory, and I like that. It doesn't. A theory comes off a bit gimmicky sometimes because it's to me and it just involves too much thought. But it's a strategy, and I can relate to that. Um, we're going to have some positive regard for our clients as we listen to them, and of course we want to help them. So obviously we're just not going to pass off whatever it is they're presenting to us just to get them out the door. We want to be encouraging. And again, all those things I can relate to. I think I told you all in my introduction video that I was a drill instructor in the Air Force, which I was. And I was often faced in a counseling scenario where I was listening to some of my trainees um, give some feedback from my critiques as far as why they weren't progressing in training. And it was really a lot of this. It was person-centered because I had to listen. Although what I was giving them wasn't always positive, but I just gave my opinion as to why they weren't progressing. And some of them were successful. They took what I had to say and they moved on, and some didn't. But this is a little bit different. Of course, this is counseling. We want to see them move on, and I can just see myself using this approach. Um, Clients are going to come with negativity. They're going to come with baggage, and it's my position to try to help them overcome that. And I can just see an environment where it's calm and it's peaceful, and I'm just observing and giving them something they can use. And I can really see to that. I'm going to be trying to change their negative into a positive, if you will. And I really can see that. I want to be genuine, which is what Rogers talked about as well. We want to show some genuineness, and this all appeals to me. So I can see this approach as something I'm going to use, and I can see it as a good fit for me, partially because I used it before, as I mentioned. And so in this environment, as with me being a counselor, I can, it's a fit for me. I really do see it that way. Um, Carl Rogers also said that people have a good and they're all good and they can handle their own affairs. And so again, I'm just more or less seeing myself as kind of nudging them along a bit and giving a little bit of feedback and helping them doing so. So in my opinion, for these two topics, that's the one for me. It's humanistic, it's person-centered, and that's the one I feel applies to me. And that's the one I can tell you as of today I'm going to use upon graduating and going forward. So I hope you all have a great spring break, and look forward to picking up with you next week as we take it from there. And until then, we'll talk soon. Take care.